Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Rage 2 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I wasn't too excited about Rage 2. It just seemed like another generic first-person shooter set in an open world. Color me surprised. I guess that color is pink, because there's a lot of pink in this game. But color me surprised. I have enjoyed so much of the gameplay, the shootouts, the superpowers that is Rage 2. Now you get to choose the gender of Walker, who is the main character that you play as, and as you enter the world that is Rage 2, you're immediately thrust into a war featuring one of the characters from the first Rage video game. Playing Rage 2 is an absolute treat when it comes to the gunplay. One of the main things about Rage 2 and why it's so much fun to play, especially during combat, is the fact that all the guns feel so tight, so heavy, so powerful. There's no really long-range weapons or stealth type of weapons. You are going in guns blazing whenever you have the opportunity. No matter the difficulty, I've noticed. The AI is incredibly smart. Of course, on lower difficulties, it's a little easier to take them down compared to higher difficulties, but the fact of the matter is that the AI in general is actually very intelligent. You will be in a situation where there is a great amount of bandits that will try to swarm, flank, throw grenades to lure you out, or just to blow you up in general, and set you up for a volley of bullets and shotgun shells and anything they can think of or anything they can get their hands on. From gun-toting mutants to bobbing and weaving sewer creatures to these heavily armored, almost cyborg ninjas that know how to use a gun as well as they know how to use a sword. One of the big things about combat as well is Walker's abilities. Walker has the ability, thanks to the Ranger suit, is this variety of skills, be it dashing or knocking an opponent back, that actually can break a person's armor, that may be very beneficial against something like a cyborg ninja that is heavily armored and bullets just won't work. As you explore throughout the world that is Rage 2, you will discover these arcs that will open up and even reveal new abilities or new weapons that the player can upgrade through various completed missions that is connected to certain characters that you meet that provide certain abilities, skills, and even vehicles. And then there's the overdrive ability that allows, after a set amount of kills, the player to activate overdrive, which will allow for regenerating health and even more violence, even more bloodshed, and just bigger explosions, bigger bullets, bigger everything. It's just a crazy, crazy moment that really epitomizes the insanity that has been the promotion connected to Rage 2, more so than the actual gameplay and the story itself. Unfortunately, Rage 2 isn't flawless, and one of the biggest reasons for it being a flawed game and not being the perfect experience, the world doesn't feel that unique. It feels big for big's sake. It doesn't have these impressive towns, or many of the characters don't feel noteworthy. It feels like set pieces and window dressing. With this open, vast world, it makes the best part of the game, which is the gunplay, take a little bit longer to get to than you would have wanted. The world in general just feels lifeless outside of a few moments where you're running past enemies or you're in a vehicle race or vehicle attack, because driving in this game is a big portion that will have the player either lifelessly moving from one point to another or trying to take down enemies aplenty, including ones that you really can't, depending on what time or what stage you reach this certain enemy. In reality, I think the open world setting actually hurts Rage 2 more than it helps. Technically, Rage 2 isn't a bad game, though it does have some flaws. I haven't had really any frame rate troubles or anything like that on a base PS4, but I've had moments where the audio will cut out, big chunks of audio. There was a mission, actually the first mission, there's this very important segment that I did not hear a word of because the audio cut out. Thankfully, I had the subtitles on so I could read it. I thought I accidentally put the television on mute. Overall, I think Rage 2 is actually a very, very good game when you're getting into the meat and potatoes, which is the gunplay, which is the combat. When you're in the middle of a firefight against actually intelligent AI, it is a thrilling experience no matter the difficulty level. But everything else around it, the story is okay. It's not as insane as one would have thought, especially considering the marketing connected to the game. The open world setting isn't that great because it's a little bit too bare, and it's just pretty much the same thing you've seen in almost every other open world game in the last 5 to 10 years, with collectibles and bandit camps to take over and fast travel points to create. But the gameplay is so strong that it will make you forget about the flaws and just want you to play more and more because it's so good. And that's what I recommend. If you just want a single player first person shooter that is filled to the brim with insane moments, definitely pick this up. But if you're tired of the open world formula, if you're not a first person shooter gamer, I don't know how much you'll enjoy Rage 2. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Rage 2 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now if you don't mind, my friend says that there are some plumbing problems going on in the city, and that means I have to go underground, maybe shoot up some mutants and unclog the most disgusting toilet in the world. And once that wasteland waste starts flowing, I'll have no choice but to say, oh lordy.